Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Ferris Makes Emulators. Straight up, I'm tired. Evoke was this last weekend, and admittedly, I'm still recovering a bit. It was really fun. Met a lot of new people. It was totally awesome. By the way, I wanted to clarify something. I posted some pictures on Twitter about a tattoo. And I meant to make it look like it was my tattoo. Straight up, it's not mine. You can see on my forearms. Still pretty barren. Not even that much hair. It was actually Wobble that got the tattoo, and I totally meant to make it look like it was me, and then post a picture of him with it. And I just totally forgot. But yeah, he got the real tattoo. Like, we landed in Cologne. He's just like, hey, if we get at the airport, or we landed in Dusseldorf, and he's like, hey, if we get to Cologne with some time to spare, I'm gonna get a tattoo. And he did. So shout outs to Wobble for getting a really rad tattoo. I don't have any ink. And maybe it's about time I get some. But yeah. The tattoo's real. It's just not on me. Also, the stream was late by about 15 minutes. I am acknowledging that, but I'm not apologizing because I'm just tired. And I had a great burrito, and it wasn't rushed. So, yeah. Believe me, if I didn't eat, this stream would go a lot worse. Power Down says Rust logo tattoo. The gear would be cool. Could even do one that's like the Logicoma logo, but with the spurs around it. By the way, howdy guys in the chat. Local hosters, Amok83. You guys were even chatting before I was available. So cool. Ion Codes, Garrett Kelly, Metal Void, Skeleton. Repnop, Mad Moose. Dom170. Alkama. Really nice to see you at the party, by the way, Alkama. Those are you guys that caught the live set we did. Alkama actually did one of the shaders. So that was pretty cool. Thanks for that. Power down, sis. Repnop, could I request a dark theme for the editor? I don't think I want to sit here tweaking this one because it's some Notepad++ thing. Normally I'm all over that, but RFC1149, how's it going? Yeah, there are lots of people here, this is nice. Yeah, we're just throwing together some quick test ROMs, so I don't think the editor should make that much difference. Oh, man, I'm sleepy. I'm in a good mood, though. Hey, Love Like Semtex. I will actually share some Evoke links. We'll do a Ferris Selects really quick here. Demos and stuff that I thought were pretty rad. I actually saw our live set wasn't recorded, so I can't share that. But yeah. Oh, RFC, I hadn't realized. Yeah, it was in the States for a while. But moved back to Norway about a year ago. A little over a year ago now. So it's been CE parentheses ST since then. Evoke was really cool. And by the way, before I just start posting some links, excuse me, if I miss your prod, it doesn't mean I didn't like it. There was a lot of good stuff there, and I'm just going to select a few links kind of quickly here. Some of the ones that really stood out to me. Just going to share a couple of these. First of all, there was a Pebble port of Intrinsic Gravity, which was really sick. And Heiko, H. Barons, if you're watching. Again, loved this, and it was super cool chatting with you about tools. That was super rad. I think my favorite demo from the party was actually this one, PLNX by Attention Whore. And it was, it's an Amiga 500 demo that honestly, when I was watching it in the compo, I thought it was A1200 because I was kind of, during this compo, I was kind of away chatting with a couple people, so wasn't paying close enough attention. But yeah, it was really cool when I found out this was A500. Lots of really stylish stuff, so I had to kind of select that one. This is Abstract featuring Alkama by Toshka. This is a really cool light painting thing by Takeshi Castle. He's sort of changing his handle to make it more well known. Really cool guy from Japan who's in the Netherlands these days and doing a lot of this cool stuff. I'm gonna do this quickly because I want to get to the emulator stuff. Your Mom by Pooh Brain, which was super rad. Really, really solid 64K stuff, and these guys have totally upped their rendering game recently. And Faraday Future by LJ and Alcatraz. Which was just really, really good 4K. The modeling in particular, I really like. LJ does really, really good space folding with distance fields. Really, really nice stuff. So yeah. those would be, if I had to pick some links to share from Evoke, I would share those. I will also share Tiago, aka, is it Chernobyl? I'm not sure how he wants to say it. But yeah. Really cool Portuguese guy who I didn't realize who it was actually, meeting him in person. So, sorry I didn't introduce myself more properly. But there's a photo album that he put up here. So there's that. And if you guys are wondering what the party looked like generally, and specifically our set, there's a lot of pictures of them in there. Taken with this really crazy lens for a lot of these, which actually does some really cool like depth of field stuff. And there's a picture of me in here that I wanted to share because I'm really happy about this picture. Like this is the nice picture. I think this is Aki, by the way, that I'm talking to. No, I can't remember exactly. A nice picture of Wobble as well. In fact, I wonder if... no, he's wearing sleeves there. I wonder if I can find one where you can see his tattoo. Yeah, I have yet to write like my Evoke was awesome, thank you, poet post. But in case I forget to do that, a few people I wanted to single out just because I had such a great time. Alkama was lovely sitting next to you. You are just a fountain of positivity and hugs. Oh, awesome, dude. Guys, if you haven't met Alkama, make sure you do so. You will not regret it. Maki and Madame, thank you for solving my toiletries issues on Saturday because I packed up my bathroom bag, and I forgot it at home. But they were so nice that they took a bunch of like soaps and stuff from the hotel and also bought me a toothbrush and stuff. So that was super nice. Fizzer, awesome seminar. Awesome seminar. Can't say that enough. It was really cool. Dino for actually putting together the set that we did. Really, really nice. Oh, there's so many people I'm actually thinking of right now, but yeah. So that's just to name a few. It was really fun talking to a bunch of people, including a bunch of people I haven't met. I'll bring up a couple more pictures from our set here, and then I'll get started. Here's me. This is what I look like with my hair down these days. Kind of weird. It ended up being like a lot more intimate than I had realized. The set itself, which ended up being really cool. Like it was just kind of like a tent, and there was just the three of us standing there, Hoff in the middle, and then me and Wobble would often switch places to run the lights and stuff. I'll talk more about the specific visuals that we had on Sunday on that stream, because that'll make more sense there. This waves effect, no, I think that might be the plasma actually that I did. But the waves thing was Alkama's, and it was pretty cool. I had this other shader with these cool boxes things, and I put Dino's name in it because he was dancing. That was fun. But it was just a really, really fun time. And we ended up playing for 3 hours. Hoffman is a phenomenal DJ, by the way. And I'm honored to have done this with him. Cool, Skeleton. Yeah, I mean, these demo parties are just so much fun for me. And I had a really great time at Evoke. It was the first party in a long time where like I didn't really have an entry other than putting together these visuals. So it was just a really different party for me than usual. And it was really fun. Here's a video even. Probably shouldn't play that in case it's copywritten or whatever. But yeah, it was really fun. Really, really fun. So I'm still kind of riding that high, and I'm also kind of just sleepy. Ah, cool, Sari. Yeah, on codes that watch demo was totally like a port of intrinsic gravity with some clever stuff as well. So yeah, really, really fun. I think there's another picture of me in here that I liked. I know I'm only just picking out the pictures of me, but you know. There's I think you got a picture of me sitting in front of the tool. Here's one with visuals in there, but again, you'll see that on Sunday. And me talking to probably Alkama, maybe someone else, don't remember. But yeah. Oh, what a fun party. Hey, Ratchet. Metal Voids. Yeah, it was a coach. I can't really say it, but that was okay beer. It was okay. Had a lot of that and a lot of pretzels. That's going pretty good, Ratchet. How's it going for you? Probably about time I start digging into this emulator stuff. Oh, thanks, Skeleton. I at least know how that vowel's supposed to sound, but especially a lot of the L's in German are really a specific sound. Like the place I was at wasn't Kalk, it was Kalk or whatever. Like a, you know. Metal Voids, what is my next party? My next party is actually Data Storm, which is in like a week. And I have one small entry with Alex, whom you may know from Pegboard Nerds. We're doing a quick thing for that, and then maybe I have another entry depending on how relaxed I am in the next week and how much time I have to work on it. Oh, I'm not even gonna try, Skeleton. Oh, cool, Ratchet. Yeah, sorry, it's like that with like a specific L. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, that's cool, Dom. Seeing pictures of that eclipse, it was pretty nuts. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Buddy of mine actually recommended me I check out Neko today. Oh, I love when I can just go on tangents for this stuff. And I'm not that familiar with it, but let me find the thing here. Here we go. Neko. This Neko. The guy who recommended this to me is a Hacks fanboy, so gonna say that first. But it did look like a decent kind of alternative in that Lua-ish space where it's like, here's a language that's easy to embed. Particularly, it's a runtime, so it actually has a couple languages as well. Like they have a Neko and a Neko ML, I think is like the ML family style language that you can use with it. Oh, it just looked pretty cool. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised at how far north that eclipse actually got. Like my bunch of friends from my hometown got pictures of it, and I'm really jealous. Yeah, I haven't tried that Neko thing. I just read about it today. Looked neat. So when you mentioned a little VM, that's what it reminded me of. Anyways, so what we started doing was actually 2 weeks ago now, because I took last week off due to company-wide dinner at work. I think I said I had a work thing last time I did that, but it was actually the same thing that last time too. Anyway, start working on this, and this doesn't look like much yet, but it should actually be super useful when this works. So what this is this 8 of these? Yeah, 8 of these. There's actually needs to be 16 of these, I believe. Or maybe it was just 8 after I figured out how few bits we actually need here. But yeah, what this is going to show is throughout the time span of one frame, we're watching the bits of this particular interrupt pending register. And when they go from low to high, we want to plot out where that is. We want to like plot those out as little blips on here. So we'll basically get a timing diagram of when the hardware goes into different states as it's drawing and displaying a frame. That's the idea, at least. So we got basically this far last time, which is actually pretty good from scratch, where we were basically able to draw tiles. We have the right tiles for what we want to plot, and it looks like we can update all of them every frame, which is nice. Also, I set it up already where it's like, so every other frame, like the first frame, it'll capture, and then the next frame, it will actually render. Oh, weird, like Jeff. Yeah, they're just moving linearly. It's actually smoother on the device than it is in this emulator. Not really sure why. I think Reality Boy runs it a little smoother. No, it's actually chunkier in Reality Boy. But yeah, runs quite smooth on the hardware. Yeah, and then of course we did all that while testing on the hardware too, so should be pretty good. But now we're at the point where we want this to actually plot real data. On codes, how about doing some Ferris Makes demos? That's on Sunday. Yeah, so it shouldn't be that much different from where we are now. Because we've got, yeah, so here I just plot out some crap. Which is fine. But yeah, so we should actually already be capturing the values. And so what I think I have here, if I remember correctly, am I even, yeah, I'm even capturing these, which is nice. So I'm basically getting a bunch of time, like I grab the initial value for this register when the frame starts, and then I just sit there and look at it as much as I can. And then whenever it changes, we record basically how many ticks. So a tick is one time through this loop. It's just like an arbitrary time value that will be consistent, or will be consistent enough, I guess. And then, yeah, every time it changes, we'll just add an entry into this this table of entries, and that entry is just a time-stamped new value. So it should actually be pretty good. Hey, Hypersonic. Thanks, man. Hey, G. Suberland. I'm suddenly struggling to remember your handle, but you're the DSS guy that does the really cool lighting stuff. and let us borrow your fan at Tursock. And I'm very sorry that I'm forgetting your name right now. But glad you can make it. Looks like the hotel internet worked. Polynomial. That's it. Good to see you, man. By the way, I totally bought one of those fans. Because it worked so well at Tursock. Which will be my last party this year. And that's in October. I hope it is worth it. But yeah, so we should have all these entries. I hope. Although I just realized I don't think I've incremented how many entries there are, so we'll do that. I guess we also could have gotten this from the pointer, but that would take a divide, and I don't want to do that. Oops. That should be it. Yeah, you totally should, man. Oh, Metal Voids. I'm actually going to pull it up because it's so cool. Where is it? Final Destination. The theme is hell. Just going to play some of this. When you get the main part.
6-6 to our final destination. A glimpse of afterlife.
Tursock's gonna be nuts. Yeah, I'll give the poet link to that at least.
We die in hell. This autumn, we go to hell.
We're totally watching this.
Just let go your souls for sale. Come with us, go to hell. Just let go your souls for sale. Yes. D-R-S-A-C. 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 Go to hell.
It's so perfect. You guys have ever been to Tursock? It's just so goofy.
Yes.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, oh, I love Tursock. It just makes me smile. Okay, back to the snooker. So particularly, I just want to print out the first bit first. Maybe the first couple. Oh, I'm pretty sure you're in there, Polynomial, at some point. I think all of us are. I'm just gonna pull up the docs here to remember which bits specifically we need to look at. But I think if we take like the first four, like what I'm worried about is that our rendering code might be a bit slow. It's probably fine, but I just want to like reduce how much we render as much as I can just in case. Because if it's too slow, we're going to miss like some timing windows and it's just going to be crap. So, yeah. Okay, so we can take these first 3 or 4. That'll be fine. And yeah, so there are actually only 8 that matter, which is important. But yeah. I don't recognize the editor because it's light, so when I move between the tabs, I'm like, where's the dark one with all the text in it? Okay. So we have the number of entries, so we basically need to go to each entry and check if a particular bit has changed, or at least the value of the bit. And then we need to plot it using basically this 1 or 0 thing here. So I think the way we do this, let's see. So this is the different bits. Instead of Y here, I'm going to do bit index, and then we'll probably need this here. So we need to do a couple things here. First, we're going to write one of these. We're at least going to need to plot this, but I'm thinking this may not be the loop we want here. I'm thinking we do something like this. We'll do that, I guess. Because what we want to do, so for every bit, we're going to go through all the entries. And then we'll do, was it num entries I did? And I'm thinking we can sort of plot it as little line segments. So if we get like the current X is this, then we can do like next X and sort of render between there, I think. Something like that. So the first value is always going to be here with a timestamp of 0. And that's going to be convenient, I think. So it's going to be something like, let's see. We'll do, let's go to, where did I have this? Entries like this. Do that just to make that a little more convenient. So this is going to be the timestamp of this. And we're gonna do this as a float divided by float of the capture total ticks. And then we're going to multiply that by 48. And then we're going to cast that back to an integer. And that should give us, yeah, somewhere on X where that's going to be. I think that makes sense. And then I'm hoping that we can basically treat this X as a start of a segment and this X as the end of a segment. So we can do something like segment length is entry X minus X if segment length is less than 1, then segment length is 1, so that we always represent this. And then I think we do this. Yeah, I think this makes sense. We're basically going to do this. And we can even do like this. Because we know the value is going to be 0 or 1 when we do, for example, this. In fact, I'm actually going to do. We just do. No, we'll do it this way. We'll take the e.value, I believe, is how I set that up. Yeah. And actually, these are wrong too. These need to be the arrow syntax here. So we'll take the value of this, which is going to be, yeah, depending on the number of bits. We're going to do shift right, or actually we'll do and 1 shift left with the bit index. Or, no, that's not what I want to do. We'll do this the other way. We'll shift it right by the bit index, and then we'll and that with 1. That'll make it a little more convenient. And then we'll add our 2, which is our offset here. And that should give us the character index. And so, yeah, so for the length of the segment, we're going to do this. And actually, because we'll do, okay, we have an, like X here. We'll do this like segment start. We'll do this. And then, yep, that should make sense. We'll do a segment start as 0 here as well. And then the make this segment start. We'll just do this. Or actually, that'll be faster, I think. And then entry X minus segment start. I think this will basically do it. This will be a bit wrong, though, because our bits aren't just the first 8. But we could do the first however many are consecutive. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do the first 5 bits. And this should actually make some sense. Let's try it. And there's a couple things wrong here, it looks like. No worries. So 87. What? Oh, that's another thing here. That's fine. 184. That's actually where we're wrong here. Yeah, because I need to get a pointer to that. Should be fine. Ayo. I don't know if this is entirely correct, but I'm really happy to see it. Slightly different in this emulator, which is interesting. But this is exactly the kind of output I was hoping for. However, this stuff at the end is a bit weird. Because we should be writing that back to the stuff. But let's do the rest of the bits. So we'll do. How do I want to do this? We'll do something like this. Do the bit indices like this, so we can get the the different bits we care about. 13, 14, 15. And then this should be quite simple to fix here. We know there's going to be 8 of these. And we're going to bam. That should basically do it. Now, a couple of things are interesting. I actually expected this to be a little bit less stable, if that makes sense. Or like I expected this to jitter a bit more. But the fact that we're seeing consistent output is not a bad thing, because we are drawing the same thing every frame. This is also interesting that we get these that just stay set, which is kind of surprising, because I'm fairly certain that as soon as I read a value, I write it back to the interrupt clear register, which should have cleared the bits that were set here. So that's somewhat interesting. Wonder what that's about. But if we look at this, we may see some interesting insights here. So this is the display not ready bit, which is never set. Good. That's a really good litmus test there. This one is the left display finished, which was set sometime when our register began. So at the initial value, somehow that was set. And that can make sense if it was like not reset from the previous frame, or if it was set at the end of the frame. A lot of reasons that could happen. But we do get out here left display finished and right display finished out here, which is pretty cool. Happy to see that. Out here, we're going to have the start of drawing and the start of frame processing. And again, it's interesting that these, first of all, that these seem to happen at the same time in this emulator. Second, that they never seem to get cleared. That's really interesting. Then some not used stuff. And then this is the drawing Y position match. Kind of interesting. This only happens in one place. Especially that it doesn't seem to be correlated with drawing. So that's kind of weird. And then here's drawing finished. Again, also interesting that this is held high so long. And then finally, the drawing exceeds frame period, which we also shouldn't see set. But I think this looks fairly sensible, actually, in terms of what we expected. Now, I want to run this in Rustral Boy, just to see where we're at. And it should basically look like Midnaffin, is what I would expect. Well, the thing is, Polynomial, that I would have, these bits are supposed to be set until we write to the interrupt clear bits. So yeah, like to clear pending interrupts, write to this register with the same value read from the interrupt pending. So I would have expect them to go, like, to be unset right after that. Seems like that's not the case, but it could be a lot of things that could cause that. Not entirely sure why that is. But let's see what this looks like in Rustral Boy. I actually need to switch my Rust version really quick. I know you guys can't see what I'm typing, but you're not missing much. Actually, I put this in my projects thing. So here's Rustral Boy. Couple interesting things here. Especially the scheduling here for when the display finish thing happened. Again, I want to run this in Midnafin as well, just to kind of look at what this looks like in different emulators. So here we have Midnafin. This is Reality Boy. And this is Rustral Boy. So you can see they're all slightly different. This is actually interesting as well. Look at these bits here. Those are quite different between these emulators. But at the end, like with these values being held, that looks roughly the same, except this one actually looks like there's the wrong bits or something in Midnafin. What the hell? That's interesting. So now I'm going to run this on the hardware as well and see if I can take a picture of it or something. And I'm still not entirely sure this is correct, but if we get something that looks roughly like this on the hardware as well, this will be pretty interesting. So just go ahead and grab my stuff. Particularly what we're after as a refresher. First of all, we want to see that what's happening in our emulator is different from the hardware. And then we also want to see how it's different. And then we want to adjust the scheduling of the video hardware in our emulator to try and match that. And if that doesn't fix the problems, then we can start looking at other registers as well. But so far, this is going pretty well, I think. So far, we're basically seeing the kind of stuff we should see. So I think just run this. And I hope this output pad is correct here. Let's flash that. So this will take a minute. But it should be cool to look at these side by side. Yeah, sorry about the noise. I'll mute my system audio. That'll help. It was the hackers enabling your webcam. Or enabling the... Yeah, whatever. Oh, this is really cool. This is working. I'm excited to see this. Nice. Why is that sound coming out of Linux? That'd be such a waste of personalization capability. Okay. Here we go. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so happy to see what I'm seeing on the hardware right now. I'm seeing the jitter that I expected. I'm going to see if I can get a little video on this, because this is actually really, really cool. Like, in terms of seeing exactly like what I expected, I'm really happy about this. Some stuff is also quite different, interestingly enough. And the jitter seems to have stabilized. I'm going to actually turn off the machine and turn it back on. Oh, it's fascinating. This was a really cool way to test this. Yeah, I'll get a video on my phone or something really quick. I still need to come up with a nice way to be able to get the output of the system like visible on the stream. I think honestly, I mentioned this before, but if I can just buy a couple like shit webcams and just like mount it onto one of my units, one of my worst condition units with like duct tape or something, that could work well enough. All right, it's not going to be the most easy thing to see here, but this is really cool. I'm actually thrilled about this. So I need to. I'll get this onto my Google Drive and I'll put it up on the stream. Thanks, Sir2. I think you'll like the video here. Oh, I'm so happy to see the way that it jittered. You'll know what I'm talking about when I display it, because it's like it's exactly what I expected. That's so good. That never happens. I'll take a minute to upload. It'll be cool to see all these side by side as well. What's the order that I had these in? Like that. Hypersonic. You're probably absolutely right. That's so great. That's awful. My upload seems to be getting kind of jank, by the way, so sorry if the stream cuts out. Might be because I'm also uploading from my phone. I think I'll definitely look into a shit webcam solution or something this week if this continues to be a nice kind of way that we can test stuff, because I'm just seeing right now that this is going to be not a good sort of cycle to actually get the data where you guys can see it. And also it'd be more convenient for me to be able to not have to crane my neck every time I want to test something on the hardware. I mean, I still have to move stuff around in order to actually like get the flash card in there and everything, but yeah. Tom170, why not use an FPGA to grab the frames of each VB display, mix them together, and send it through USB to a computer as a webcam? That would be totally my ideal solution, but I do not have that kind of time right now. I love that idea, and I would love to do that at some point, but Not for a while. So now it's downloading from my G drive. No, Virtual Boy doesn't have any output ports. The video, the protocol that's used to drive the displays is known. There was a mod for VGA or something that some guys put together that was also FPGA based, as far as I remember. It's on the Planet VB thing somewhere. I haven't checked internally for like test points, but I don't think it has any. I think it's pretty cheap. All right, let's see. Let me mute this. This is actually really cool. So I just literally stuck my phone just into one of the eye things. Here, let me show you guys. Here's what we got. You can see the reflection of my SNES and stuff in the corner. Oh, that's awesome. So I turn it on, and here's the signal. So this is basically a still of what we have. And this is Reality Boy is actually pretty close here, but there's a couple discrepancies. But watch some like down here and on the left, and you'll see a bit of jitter. Like there's a little bit of like scaling jitter, and that's what happens as the displays kind of stabilize. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like digitally. This is like here. You can see here and here that the timing is actually a little bit different every capture we take, and that's gonna have to do with like how in sync the display driver is with the rest of the drawing hardware, that kind of thing, and just like when the little timing differences, like when the interrupt fires before we can capture the first value, for example, which is, I'm guessing, what's happening with this little bit here. So that makes me really happy to see that kind of jitter, because that's exactly what I would have expected. And we're not going to get that in the emulator because all of this is like, we don't really emulate the analog parts of the hardware particularly well. And I don't think we would really need to. I'd be shocked if any game actually relied on anything like that. And I kind of have to move the camera a little bit in order to get the extremes here. Like this is basically 2 chars worth of being on at the end here. That's kind of hard to see. But yeah, none of the emulators get this exactly right. It's just kind of cool. I would say in this area, Reality Boy and Minafin are fairly close, where Virtual Boy sucks. It almost looks like this is the wrong bit here. So maybe I messed that up. But then this is somewhat interesting. Move this over here a bit. So all these still end with a couple of these being high, except the hardware doesn't. It's just somewhat interesting. Really interesting. And this goes down for a bit and then comes back up, and we get another blip on one of these lines. Really interesting. So the next step is to figure out like which one of these bits these actually correspond to, and try and make this sort of match this. But I gotta be honest, I thought I would wake up a bit more than this before now, and I'm just kind of not. So I might cut this stream a bit short. But I'm really satisfied with this. Satisfied with just seeing this result. And I think if we start the next stream by actually starting to analyze this and start seeing like, okay, why does this go up here and down here? What could make that happen? And then, yeah, again, just trying to match this as much as we can. I think that'll be pretty good. But yeah, exactly, Madmoose. That's exactly what this is. And if I recall correctly, I think this was your idea or your suggestion. And it worked really well. Polynomial, the timing difference jitter would make a great entropy source. It would, except in the emulators. But yeah, it totally would, because that's going to come from like I said, the display stabilizing. And I totally think that there's because the displays are actually rotating mirrors. And I totally think that, like I noticed when I looked in the Virtual Boy, this would actually stabilize after a while. Like it would get more stable, and that totally makes sense with the actual display motors, the timing actually getting more stable. So I think this makes sense. I also need to put this code on a repo somewhere, so maybe I'll do that quick before I go. But yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this. This is really nice. Okay, so I actually do have a Git repo for it, but I don't think I've pushed it anywhere. I'll leave this on here, looping, because it's cool. You can see a little bit of my kitchen at the end. All right, here it is, full res. Oh, whoop. There we go. While I commit this other stuff. But yeah, I don't think I pushed this anywhere. Just make that little repo. It's not gonna have a license or anything yet. So just keep that in mind. But it'll be up there. Polynomial, do you have a preferred license? MIT and BSD2, I quite like. Oh, this is so cool. I'm just so satisfied with this, you guys. So nice. But yeah, there's the repo. I mean, I guess I'll just work out of there moving forward. See no reason not to. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, this will be fun to dig into. Anyway, thanks guys for hanging out. I'm gonna head out. Hopefully be more on time and more awake next week, but I think we will be. So this should be fun. But yeah, thanks again, guys, and I will see you next time.